Hi, there's Heretics19 here. Here with another segment about how the meta is different in Europe and the UK compared to the US and Canada. So, thumbs up for an Englishman speaking English. So, yeah, here we go. This is not actually all the cards, which are illegal to use in Europe and in the UK. These are just ones that I feel are more prominent towards how develops the meta. So obviously, here we go. First card, Machine Lord Emperor Weisel. 1-star machine, and then obviously if it's destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon it, and once per turn it can negate a spell. And it does do the thing all the Machine Emperors do of absorbing synchros and attaching them. So next one we have, obviously that one's a bit more Machine Lord Emperor's a bit more multi-purpose, but this one really affects the E-heroes, because obviously with anyone not being able to use this one, it really limits the use of Super Poly. So obviously E-heroes over here are not going to be as good as in America, because they're going to have like a really bad matchup versus Dark Lord. Also Six Samurai, Shien, you can't Super Poly away Shien, so this card really does help heroes out. So obviously now can't do it. Another one, Shooting Quasar Dragon. Another reason why Jung Doppel just doesn't do, I don't feel, does that well over here. By comparison, it never did. Plants were still good, but you could only go to Shooting Star, you couldn't go to Quasar, so kind of sucks. But I still reckon it's one of the reasons why Lovels really just won't take off, is the reason, this. So, again, also, and then with X-Sabers, we have this one. So another reason why X-Sabers just can't do anything, this synchro really does actually help. So it kind of really limits people's actual choices of what they can do. So yeah, no Catapult Water. So no Catapult Water OTK. That just doesn't happen over here. So yeah, you can't do that. Also for the new meta, we have this one, the Blackwing Groundless. What is it? Groundless Shining Star. Yep. So obviously, compared to how in America you have this as an extra tool you can use, we haven't got it, so obviously we have to use extra things. So Catasta, Magical Android, Vortex the Whirlwind. Yeah, you see, I remembered that. So, and then you have also, these are just like your first thing, so now we've gone to the XYZs, which are probably much more important, like Acid Golem, and Acid Golem has become kind of a staple in, quite a lot of American decks. So not having it over here means you can't OTK, you can't finish. So if you have 2 level 3s, you can't finish the push. You can only go for 25, so it really limits what you can do. So obviously instead, we either have to run Zen mains or something like that, so it really does limit your choices. Catapult Dragon, I don't believe it's that critical. I mean, obviously with dragons and Chaos Dragons, it probably could have done something a bit more, but we don't have the choice, so I think it might have done something then, but not really now. Shockmaster. It's another reason why gadgets just didn't take off here, and it's another thing why metas are completely different. This helps with offering gadgets. This is one of the cards that makes offering gadgets, and we don't have it, so you're very limited on resources of kind of like, okay, so I've got My Strokes. Okay, I can go to My Strokes, go to Utopia. I'm really running out of things I can do now. So it's not being horrible. It's just if you kind of say to someone in Europe, "Oh, your deck's shit because you can't run, you don't run these on DN." It's like, "Oh, you could have made Shockmaster." It's like we don't have that option. So we can play people on DN, and I from the UK don't mind playing people from the US on DN and using their decks, and I would try my best to beat them. But still, it's if we don't have the resources that you guys have. Again, so it's not, we're not criticising, you have it, we don't, but we make the best of what we can do. Again, so we have, number 50, Black Ship of Corn. This one is really, I think, going to impact the meta, because over here, we've a lot of people, with Marshmallow at 3, Spirit Reaper at 3, and then we've got Zen Mains and My Stroke. Without this, you're not really going to get around those cards that easy, so it's going to be interesting to kind of see how people are using this card. So I think this will take off a lot in America, but obviously a lot of people are saying this is becoming another staple card, and I do actually agree with them quite a bit, but obviously over here we can't do it, so I can guarantee over here you can have a lot more. Over in the UK and Europe you can have a lot more things like store decks and things like Countdown can do a lot better because we can't use this. So in consideration we could probably have a lot more of a Countdown or kind of Exodia meta, whereas you could see cards like Medolches and things pick up, but obviously over here it's not going to do the same because we're missing key cards. Again, with the last one that I'm picking up for the time is Gustav Max. What can you say? It was the killer combo with Heretics, or Heretics, whatever you want to call them. Even though now, obviously, Darkness Metal's limited to 1, you still can use two Tragodia. But now there, 2 Tragodia. There you go. Summon, collide. So, tack, collide 1, take damage, summon Tragodia, in attack mode, tack, exceed, let's go to this, win the game. It's still possible. It's not like it's not possible, but it is. So, it can still finish the game for 2,000 damage. So over here, it's another reason I feel that Heretics just didn't really grasp the meta. I never really saw anyone thinking, I've got to run Heretics. Or even Geishki Heretics, I've got to run this. It's because you just lack the finishing power. You could never finish them off. You had to take it a different way. Because this was just not going to happen. So, I feel that's why over here you saw more Dino Rabbit and you saw more wind-ups. Probably more so than probably even Exectors. Because you just didn't have the toolbox to go for it. So, I mean, tell me what you think. What are your comments on this? If anyone from America wants to make a complaint at me, please feel free. This is, the UK meta. We can't do anything about it. I'm not complaining. I like the meta around here. It's not that bad. So, but I think that we're just going to highlight some of the differences in how people play. So, I mean, I want to hear from, if you write down at the bottom, and I'll give you a thumbs up, and I'll give shout outs to channels who do this. But I want to know from people in America, what would you do without these cards? And I want, if we can get some really big name YouTubers saying, well, what decks would you run if these cards were all off limits? So, I'm going to try and get it, see if we can get some actually like big YouTubers actually get it, so they actually have to play European meta. So, this is how Hurricane Games over and out, and saying that I want to see the creativity. Go.